Hello, it is Lorraine Appleyard here, and I thank you very much for joining me today. I am a psychic and a spiritual medium, and I'm also a spiritual teacher. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the winter solstice, which is officially the first day of winter. However, there's a big spiritual meaning behind the winter solstice, and it's significant in that this is the day of the year where the lightness and the darkness are completely balanced. They're of equal lengths. And so the significance of this is that we are going to start having more light coming into our life. Every single day for very short periods of time, second by second, we're going to have more light come into our life. And why this is significant is because we often don't realize that we're having more light come into our life until we're many weeks into the season, and we start to see, oh, the days are becoming longer. Why this is significant is because we're ushering in the return of light, and by honoring it with a ritual or just acknowledging what's occurring, we're acknowledging the spiritual aspect of what's happening. Now, the ancient people knew that this was a very powerful time, and they always looked to the sun and the moon, the stars, for not only for guidance and direction, but for a spiritual meaning of what's occurring, spiritual meaning of what is this all about, what is the purpose, and always looking for guidance to be able to help navigate our earthly journey, because we are indeed spiritual beings having a human experience. And so this day is all about allowing the shadows to come to the surface, to release them, and honoring and bringing in more light into your life. And as I said, when we have a change in our life, when we're starting to have more light come into our life, not only am I talking about the days becoming longer, but we often don't realize that things have shifted in our life until they become really obvious to us. But what happens is that they've been changing slowly for a period of time, and we don't notice it until it becomes just very striking. And how we honor this change is, I like to be able to spend some time in meditation during the winter solstice. It's a time for releasing, so I like to write down on a piece of paper that which I want to release. And as it's also a time for bringing in more light, I also write things down on a piece of paper that I want to draw into my life. And then I burn it. I burn it in a cauldron or a fireproof ceramic bowl. And as I burn it, I'm releasing those intentions out to the universe. And what happens is that energy gets sent out to the universe. And the idea is that it goes to the Creator, that the universe hears our intentions and responds to us. And so Spirit brings this back to us. We're releasing that energy, and that which we release also comes back to us, those positive intentions. So spend some time to reflect about what it is that you want to release. It's also a time for reflecting upon our blessings. So do take the time to count your blessings. And as we're setting intentions for ourselves, set the intentions also for those that you love. Set out some intentions on a piece of paper. Write down a wish for one of your family members or friends, and burn that with intention of those wishes and desires to be received. And as you do it for someone else, always intend that it be for their highest and best good. And that way, we're not putting any of our ideas on anyone else's spiritual path, but it truly is about ushering in something that's positive and for the highest and best good. And so traditionally, during these periods of time that are of great significance, which is today, being the solstice, and the equal day and night, and it only occurs twice a year, traditionally tarot cards are drawn, and we use the major arcana cards to be able to have a better understanding of our soul's journey at this time. The major arcana cards are what I also call karma cards or soul learning. These are gates that we have to pass through on our journey. And so the first card that I draw for us is the moon. And I'm never a giant fan of the moon because it means to be, really for me, it means about being more aware to the subtle intuition that's occurring. This is something coming from the subconscious and rising to the surface. So that may be a period of time of vivid dreams. It may also be a period of time where you're just getting a lot of intuitive thought. And it's really important to be able to trust your intuition. This shows me here that the intuition is not being trusted. And so know that you're getting more guidance than you realize. And this is about trusting those little nudges and urges that we get from our intuition, from our higher self, from our guides. And each time you get it, take a moment just to give thanks, acknowledge it, and in doing so you're going to make that guidance stronger. You're going to make those connections stronger. So acknowledge any intuitive nudges that you get, or any signs that you're getting around you. This is about having something come from the darkness of your subconscious, okay? So be aware of that. It is really very significant that this comes during the period of time where we're balancing light and dark, and it's a time of shadow releasing. And so be aware of what emerges from your subconscious that needs to be able to come to light. So there may be a situation that is evolving, and as it's evolving, you're going to be able to see it clearly. So be mindful of that there's just energy that's sort of being a little bit tumultuous, and it will start to give a clearer picture. There may also be movement or travel that's occurring during this period of time. So if you've been thinking about travel or moving, this is a good period of time coming up to be able to do so, to be able to make those plans to do so. Next I have the Empress drawn for us, and this is very significant. The Empress is a time of creativity. It's a time for connecting with our divine feminine, and it's a time for the birth of new things. And so what greater goddess energy can you have than the birth of something? Now this may be a literal birth, so we've been wanting to have a baby or planning on conceiving, then this is going to be an ideal time to do so. It may represent the birth of a project or the birth of something new, so be mindful for that. But this is all connecting with your divine creativity and your divine feminine essence. So if there's something that creative that you've been feeling drawn to do, this is the time to be able to connect with this, okay? And as this is the mother, the great goddess mother, this is also about having abundance and having enough. So if you've been worried about not having enough in terms of material things, and as I said before, we all need to be able to have material things because we're living in a material world. So this is a time where to know that you're going to have enough to be able to help you get through. Okay? So this is a period of abundance here. And lastly, we have the Judgment card, and this really is also very significant. It ties in nicely with the moon, and I feel it ties in nicely with the concept of the winter solstice. This is about an awakening, and really, what better awakening can we have right now, as we are in the winter solstice and we are approaching Christmas and the year of 2020, which has been really a kicker of a year. So this is about waking up to a higher perspective, waking up to having that, it really is a higher spiritual perspective. It is sort of emerging from the darkness and seeing things in a different light. So there is a spiritual maturing, there is a spiritual awakening, and also just know that to look for signs that are around you at this time, because this is about listening to the Archangel Michael, who's blowing his horn. So are you getting signs that you're not paying attention to? Okay, so listen to those little nudges that you're getting from Spirit and just be mindful of this. This is something that you're going to, when you get this card at this moment, you're going to be able to look back at some things that have occurred this year and have a higher perspective about it, to have a higher spiritual outlook. And it's also a time where you're going to be able to connect more with your own intuition, which again connects very nicely with the tarot, with the moon rather, because when we have that higher spiritual perspective, we're in our spirit mind, and this is where we connect with source, and we're able to receive more impressions from Spirit. So this is a period of time of awakening, and I feel that collectively we're doing a great awakening, and it's very significant for now during the winter solstice. So I thank you very much for watching me at this time. I do thank you all for following me on my social media, for allowing me to be part of your lives, just even for a few minutes at a time. So thank you once more for being able to speak words of Spirit. I wish you all very many blessings. This comes at a very end of a very difficult year. And I know that 2021 is going to be a wonderful year, and that we're moving forward into a higher vibration and a higher light. I feel that this is very significant also as I look at these cards and I see the Empress that represents a birth, and I feel that looking at these tie in nicely, that we're really bringing in the birth of a higher consciousness coming forward in 2021. So take a few moments to honor the light returning. This is, we're talking about the birth of the sun, the birth of the light symbolically returning to earth, but we're also talking about the birth of the divine sun, which is really the birth of our own divinity. It is having awareness of our own divine self. And so this is honoring the light returning to earth, and it's honoring the Son of God coming to earth. And that really represents the promise that we've been given, written in the stars, that there is peace, will be peace on earth. So I thank you very much for listening to me at this time, and I look forward to seeing you all in the year 2021. Please do hit the like button if you've watched this video, and if you've enjoyed it, please do hit the subscribe button and join me on my other social media platforms as I work to give more guidance, more spiritually derived content, and please do engage with me also in my development groups, Soul Light Solutions and Mediumship Development Global Group. I look forward to seeing you all. I thank you very much once again. My name is Lorraine Appleyard, and I am a psychic and a spiritual medium. And I wish you all very many blessings, and may you walk with Spirit. Bye for now.